All right, let's get right into it. We've all gotten pretty used to AI that can talk, right? But the next massive leap, the thing that's really going to change the game, is getting AI to actually do stuff. We're talking about moving from a tool that just chats with you to an assistant that genuinely works for you. And today, we're going to break down two very different ways to get there: OpenClaw and n8n.
You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head. It gets to the heart of the problem. What happens after you close that chat window? Well, usually nothing. The conversation's over. We're now trying to solve what you could call the AI doing gap, that big space between getting a simple answer and getting a task completely finished. This is all about giving AI the hands to match its incredible brain.
So what does doing actually mean here? Well, imagine asking your AI to say, find all the quarterly reports from last year, pull out the key findings from each one, summarize them, and then email that summary to the marketing team. See? That's what we're talking about. It's moving way beyond just generating text to executing real-world, multi-step jobs all on its own. And this right here is the absolute crucial point. The whole shift is from an AI that just sits there waiting for your next prompt to one that you can give a goal to, and it just goes and works on it, even while you're asleep. For instance, you could tell it, hey, keep an eye on my flight status and let me know if there are any delays. You could wake up the next morning to a simple notification saying everything's on time. That's the leap from passive to active. It's huge.
Now, to bridge this doing gap, two completely different philosophies have popped up, and they're perfectly represented by OpenClaw and n8n. It's really important to see these not as direct competitors, but as different tools designed for totally different jobs. One is all about autonomy and trust, while the other is all about precision and control. So here's the fundamental difference, put as simply as possible. With OpenClaw, you tell it what to do, the final outcome. You just say, monitor this project for urgent issues and post a summary to Slack. It then has to figure out the how all by itself. But with n8n, you are the one telling it exactly how to do something, step by step, by connecting little boxes in a visual workflow. You're basically building the instruction manual yourself.
Okay, so let's dive into that first path. The best way to think about OpenClaw isn't really as a tool or an app, it's more like an entire operating system for your AI assistant. It provides the environment that an AI brain, like a GPT-4, needs to actually get real work done in the real world.
Now this is key. OpenClaw runs on your hardware. You install it yourself on your laptop or a server or even a tiny little Raspberry Pi. This self-hosted approach is its greatest superpower. It gives the AI direct, hands-on access to your local system, transforming it from something that just says things into an agent that actually does things.
And this approach comes with some pretty incredible advantages. First, full system access means it can actually perform tasks like organizing files or running code. Its persistent memory means it learns from your conversations over weeks and months. It's not starting from zero every time. It can be proactive, running jobs on a schedule without you even having to ask. And because it's self-hosted, your data stays private on your machine. On top of all that, a huge community has built over 100 skills, like one that can automatically organize your messy downloads folder for you.
But, and this is a big but, that power comes with massive trade-offs. Security researchers have literally called it a security nightmare if you don't know exactly what you're doing. I mean, think about it. You're granting an AI full access to your computer. That is inherently risky. It can also be a money pit, just burning through expensive API tokens, which are basically the credits you pay for to use the AI because it sends your entire long conversation history with every single request. And for non-developers, the setup can be a real headache. Okay, now let's pivot to the second path, which takes a completely different approach. If OpenClaw is about handing over the keys to the car and hoping for the best, n8n is about drawing a very, very specific map and keeping the keys in your pocket. It prioritizes precision and absolute total control. In n8n, everything is a visual flowchart. You literally drag and drop these little blocks called nodes, and each one represents a specific action, and then you connect them with arrows. In this world, the AI isn't the star of the show. It's just another node on the assembly line. So you might use an AI node to, say, summarize an email, but the steps before and after that, like getting the email in the first place and then saving the summary to a file, are all explicitly defined by you. And here's the logic behind it. Every single workflow starts with a trigger, like a new email arriving in your inbox. That one event kicks off a whole series of actions and logic that you've meticulously laid out beforehand. There are zero surprises. The system only does exactly what you told it to do,
every single time. You built the machine, and it follows the blueprint perfectly.
The main advantage here is, without a doubt, predictability. It's perfect for those reliable, scheduled business processes where you just cannot tolerate any mistakes or randomness. The downside? Well, it takes a good amount of upfront work to build these complex workflows. And unlike OpenClaw, it's stateless by default, meaning it doesn't remember past conversations. It's just not designed for a casual back-and-forth request like, hey, can you check on that thing we talked about yesterday?
So, with these two very different philosophies on the table, we finally get to the core question. Which one should you actually use, and when does it make sense? Let's break it all down into a nice, clear framework.
This little decision matrix really makes it simple. First, look at your task type. Are you doing one-off conversational things? Go with OpenClaw. Do you have a structured, repeatable process? That's a job for n8n. Then think about control. Do you want to just describe an outcome and let the AI figure it out? That's OpenClaw. Or do you want to define every single step with zero room for error? That's n8n. Then security. Your personal tolerance for risk is a huge factor here. And finally, think about who you are. Are you a developer who's comfortable in a command line, or do you prefer a nice, clean visual interface?
Ultimately, this is probably the best way to think about it. OpenClaw is like hiring a brilliant, eager intern. It can take initiative, achieve some amazing things with very little direction, but it also might make a huge mess and definitely needs careful supervision. n8n, on the other hand, is like the flawless robot on an assembly line. It will perform its one task perfectly 10,000 times in a row, but it will never, ever do anything that you haven't explicitly programmed it to do.
And that really leaves us with a final crucial question to think about. We are absolutely in the early days, the real Wild West of AI agents. Tools like OpenClaw are an exciting glimpse into a future where AI assistants are truly autonomous partners in our work. But as we hand over more and more control, the central challenge for all of us is going to be figuring out how to build the right guardrails to balance that incredible, world-changing power with safety and security.